are you?
Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks to everyone who's tuning in and watching an episode of For Foodies by Foodies. So we have Elias with us, who's the founder of Pinch Gourmet, a catering company / a lot of other things that's going on right now.
Many things.
Many things, yeah. We've been following your journey for a while, for a few years. So when I thought about some of the guests that really inspired my husband and I, especially now as new food startups, like you guys had to come to mind right away.
We are humbled and honored.
No, just because of, like, mashallah, how much you've grown across the last year, let alone the last few months. Like these last few months, I feel like you're everywhere.
It's been hectic. And honestly, I don't think that we would be at this current point if it wasn't for the support system that we have.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be family, friends, you know, repeat clients, word of mouth, you know, without that, Pinch is absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And I think I owe it to everyone who has supported us from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, yes, it comes with hard work, determination, creativity, but without the support, you're nothing.
Yeah, and you're a Dubai kid, so
I'm a Dubai kid.
More or less a lot of your support organically grew, hopefully, because you reside here. But that's not really your story, right? You've kind of...
No, so I was born in Jordan. You know, we moved around a little bit at the age of 3, moved to Dubai. My dad came here on a small-time project. You know, like they're like, you're here for 3 years and then, you know, you're leaving.
Go back, yeah.
And he ended up staying with his work. You know, he prospered, and I was here my whole high school. And then at the age of 18, you know, it's time to move somewhere, go to university. And I went to Montreal, to Canada, and you know, went to the John Molson School of Business, going with, you know, I want to be a businessman or like do some sort of marketing career. Did 5 years of university, and on the side for fun, you know, I used to DJ.
Yeah, I heard.
I was promoting on the side, you know, just making extra cash, and like, you know, music's always been a huge passion of mine. It still is. I still listen to, like, I'm a big fan of house music. I'm a huge metalhead. Metallica fan. Thank you, Metallica, for keeping me sane. And then, you know, halfway through my marketing course, you know, like every university kid, like most of us, we had no idea, you know, what the hell we're doing. And we took a class called Marketing of Food. And the teacher, like, you know, his name is actually Dr. Jordan Labelle. Like, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of heart. Like, he's talking about food, and I love food. You know, I love eating, and he's talking about it. You know, he has like a PhD in chocolate, and like,
what?
Yeah. And I went to him and I told him, like, sir, like, I'm curious. I want to move into this field. He's like, learn to cook. I'm like, I don't want to be a chef. He's like, no, like, learn to do it. You'll be ahead of everyone in the game.
Wow.
And I told him, but what if I just want to work for one of these big FMCGs? Like, he's like, just, you know, cook, learn how to do it. If you understand your product, you know, you'll be ahead of everyone. I'm like, okay, fine. So I did that. I graduated. I also spoke to my father, and he also gave me the same advice. It's like, you know, if you want to be ahead of everyone, you got to know the product, know how it's done. So I went to Cordon Bleu in Ottawa, and, you know, from the get-go, it was horrible experience. Like,
everyone says that.
The chef would come with a ruler. I'm not kidding you. And he'd start measuring the carrots I just cut. He's like, okay, this one's good. These, nope, throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's a boot camp. And, you know, growing up in this region, we're a bit, you know, a bit more, I don't want to say pampered, but like, you know, it's a lot easier than like, you know, having to work in these kitchens, and it's hot and it's dingy, and so it was really a big life lesson for me. And I started working in restaurants, and really like working with people there were, you know, these guys are.
So how long, if you don't mind me asking, was Cordon Bleu, and then the restaurants that came after that?
Cordon Bleu was a year. The restaurants after, I was there for about 3-4 years.
So for those that don't know, Cordon Bleu is like one of the sexiest culinary schools out there. On paper. On
paper, yes.
And it's in a lot of the big cities. So you have one in London, you have one in Singapore, you have, you know, of course you have it in Paris.
London, Paris, Australia, they have a lot in the States. It's huge. It's a big company, it's a big corporation.
It's all French.
Yes, all the chefs usually all the chefs that trained me were French. There was like one or two other ethnicities, but like these guys were top of the line.
Yeah.
Been in the industry 20, 30 years. Like these guys are just living life.
Yeah.
They're good. They're really, really good.
So all my friends who went said the same thing. It's all French. Like I have a friend who went, shout out to Reem, to the one in London, and
shout out to Reem.
she said it was all French, and it was really, really tough. It was, days where you just want to cry and leave and walk out.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine it really puts you in, kind of like a reality check to know if this is what you want or you don't.
They
want.
do it purposely. Like they wean out the weak. Like, you need to have thick skin from the get-go. And I first week, I remember I called my parents. I'm like, I'm done. This sucks. They're like, listen, like suck it up for another week. Come on. Like, you put in a lot of money in this. Do it. And then I'm like, okay. And then we got to meet new chefs and they were a bit cooler. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this out.
Yeah.
And I fell in love. I think I started falling in love while I was working in restaurants.
Yeah.
Cordon Bleu was cool, and then we did an internship. I worked in this French restaurant, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. And you see the reaction of people when they're eating your food. Like, luckily, I had this station that was overlooking the dining room, so I could see people. Like, I'd make a tartare, and I'd see someone eating, and I'd say, this is really good. I'm like, oh, yeah, I made that.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
So
that's pride. Yeah.
You fall in love with it. It's a labor of love. It's not the. Everyone puts this huge glamour to it. It's not glamorous.
No.
You're sweating, you're working 15, 16 hours a day. It's rough, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's either that or you sit on the desk for 14, 15 hours a day. Like, these are the two extremes.
Extremes, right.
And there's this adrenaline rush that comes with it. So when you're working on the line and everything's going smoothly, life is beautiful.
Yeah.
When and I'm not allowed to swear. No.
Yeah,
I was gonna say when shit hits the fan, shit hits the fan. Like,
Yeah.
it's horrible, and customer's always right. That's the number one rule. There's two rules in the kitchen. Customer's always right, and yes, chef. There's no other rule.
Yeah.
Yes, chef. Do this, yes, chef. So and it became a lot of fun. And I don't know, I reached a point, like I was there for quite a while in Canada. I was there for 9 years. And I wanted to move back, like this region. I'm like, they haven't experienced like this type of cuisine. So I came back and I'm like, we got some people excited, like, okay, let's open restaurants, let's do this. And, in the process of trying to open a restaurant and looking at like, high rent, location, I was like, I didn't know the market that well. Family members started saying, hey, listen, can you cook for us? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll make a dish for you. Oh, listen, it's my sister came up to me. She's like, oh, it's my husband's birthday party. Can you do something cool for us? I did. And, there was this young crowd that was really appreciating this food. So then my mom's like, hey, listen, it's Christmas time. Do the Christmas dinner. So I'm like, okay, let's do the Christmas dinner. And then out of nowhere, one of my mom's friends like, listen, like, I want you to do my daughter's wedding. We have 100 people.
Marra wahda.
Yeah, marra wahda, like one shot. I was like, sure. So I gathered, like, I found some chefs, I found some waiters, and I'm like, okay, let's try this out. And it was successful.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, yeah.
No, so it was a nightmare in one sense. I remember one of my friends came out to help me. Shout out to Andre. Thank you so much again.
Thanks, Andre.
Thank you, Andre. Where I just plugged all the equipment into one socket.
Oh, electricity.
Yeah, and I started like, trying to move things around, and like these machines, the power cut. So I had to move, like the tables were outside and I had to like do the cooking inside their kitchen and bring it out. It was just like back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare, but no one realized. And like we kept it cool. We went through the event and everyone's like praising the food. And out of nowhere, like after that event, people started calling me.
Yeah.
And saying, hey, listen, catering. And I'm like, okay, there's a demand for this. People want this. So, yeah, so that's how
you started.
That's how we started.
And that was 3 years ago.
That was 3 years ago.
That was 3 years ago. So now we're 3 years later. Pinch is, I would say, a household name for that demographic, right? Because there's a lot of competition out there.
Yeah.
And you've done your first iftar, which was in 2017.
Last year, yes.
Last year. And now you've announced a few weeks ago, excuse me, that you're doing another iftar. I remember the iftar last year was sold out. I remember that every time, like a friend of a friend told us about it, or our mutual, we do share a lot of mutual friends, and you know, you have to go try this iftar, and someone said there's fettit makdous or bitinjan, and like everybody knows that's my thing. Like I love that. To me, it's like my mama's food.
Yeah, exactly.
So we had to be there, and it was amazing. We went with, you know, one of Haida's friends, and we were super excited, and the vibe was really romantic and fun and simple, like very, very simple.
Yeah.
So well done to that. Obviously, you proved that was needed, the iftar. It was like you just sit and dine kind of experience.
Pretty much like, you know, there's a lot of people fasting, so when they're coming for iftar, you know, they're hungry, standing in buffet lines and all that. And I've been to these buffets, you know, it's just generic Arabic food that's the same throughout every single place, and you're paying good money to eat this food. So we thought, okay, listen, let's make it a little bit homier. There's a huge crowd here that are living outside of their homes. Their parents are all back home, like, you know, in the region, and they want to eat some proper Arabic food, which we provided. We provided table service, which we highly believe in.
Yeah, you have a lot of staff.
Yeah, and I actually got into a huge fight with my mom over the desserts. She's like, you need to have proper Arabic desserts. I was like, no, I will not have Arabic desserts. I'm going to have a cookie in a pan. And this was like World War III at home.
Yeah.
Because of this one thing. And I'm like, why? I'm like, where does it say in history that you cannot have a cookie in a pan for iftar? You know, I know a lot of people are going to hate on me, but
no, it's true.
It's, you know, I wanted something different.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the hit. You know, we had some walk-ins, people walking into our iftar. You know, we had like some extra seats every now and then. And we're like, listen, we can provide you the whole iftar, but we don't have the cookie in the pan. We're sorry. They're like, okay, no, we'll come tomorrow then.
Yeah.
Like, it was that big of a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So we tried to make it different. This year also we're making it completely different. It's 4 menus over 4 weeks. It's going to be, you know, good, wholesome food. And our hashtag is so simple. It's seriously good food.
Yeah.
Because I'm horrible when it comes to the creative aspect. Mm-hmm. You know, when we first started as Pinch, you know, it would be like a shoddy table and then good food on it. You know, and then people are like, oh, we really like your food, but your presentation is crap.
Plating, basically, to those who...
Our plates look beautiful. It's the surrounding stuff, like the flowers, the vases. I had no idea.
Sure.
So we're like, okay, let's get someone to help us out. So we got someone to help us out. Okay, let's get some tables. Let's put the Pinch logo. Let's light them up. You know, and we were able to get, you know, all the people that now are working with us in Pinch. You know, they work with a lot of love.
So how many are those? Let's just go back a bit. So you guys right now...
We're 21 now.
You're 21, mashallah.
21
that is amazing. You have your own central kitchen in DIP.
In DIP, yeah.
And you are a full-time catering company. Now, what I know about catering is when we started the food truck, everybody and their mama said, you are crazy if you think you're getting into catering anytime soon, because you need to focus on your truck, and then, you know, when that time comes in 1 year, that's what all my consultants told me.
Consultants.
Yeah, that in 1 year you can consider it, but relax, girl.
Yeah.
You know, relax. And I turned around once, and we were in a meeting, and they had got out of the room, and I told Haida, I was like, so we work 5 months out of the year? I was like, how is that? How does that work? And you know, for me, what fuels me is someone telling me you can't do it, and you know, I'm sure you're the same exact way. Yeah. So we early on realized that if it's sexy and if it's done right, and you can get a few of these friends and family catering gigs right away.
Yeah, that's how it starts.
That's how it starts. So for you, it started with the wedding, and then when did you realize, like, did you have a moment after another event, or 3 or 5 or 6 or 10, where you said, oh my God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this Pinch Gourmet?
I think it was as we were gathering. I'll tell you when I realized it. It's, you know, after the wedding and like after doing a couple of events, you know, initial investors that we wanted to get on board that weren't interested because they're like, who's this kid that came from Canada, blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
Now they're interested. And now they're calling. And now it's like, okay. And like my dad told me that, like, no one's going to look twice at you until they need something. Obviously, family and friends are completely different, but like he said it, no one's going to look twice at you.
So you chose to take the route of starting with investors.
Yes. Well, listen, they're minority. We're a family company
at
the end of the day, so majority of the share is with us. And all the investors are strategic. they're either close friends or people that have a certain interest in the company, and we have an interest with them to be with us on board.
Yeah.
So that's how it's kind of started.
Yeah. But for those who don't know, what is the difference? What is the difference with me self-funding my beautiful idea that I would love to have, whether I found a chef like you as a friend or I have these recipes? Because I get a lot of calls all the time saying, I have all these recipes and I have all these ideas. So what's the difference with me going to somebody I know is willing to invest versus bootstrapping and doing it myself in catering, of course.
When you're bootstrapping and doing it yourself, you think, like, every decision you take, you run it through your head like 30, 40 times. Whether it's, I'm going to go buy a chair now. Should I buy, should I not? When it's someone else's money, now, again, like, there's also responsibility, towards your investors, people. But a lot of the time you're like, it's just a chair. Boom, I'm just going to buy it immediately. Yeah. I don't have to worry about funding. These guys are willing to put it in.
Right.
But when it's your own money, your hard-earned cash, or like your family's hard-earned cash, it's a different story.
Yeah, it's a completely different story. Yeah, and I totally see that. We decided to put all of our savings into Mais, and when this gets us into the topic that I really want to talk about, when it came to catering and we had to build a kiosk and buy additional kitchen equipment, and we just bought some 2 months ago, I was like, oh my God, no, Haidar, no, we can't, it's way too much. We just invested all this money in the truck. And he's like, there's Dragon Mart. And he literally, I didn't even know that you can buy kitchen equipment from Dragon Mart. And you can, people, like, go to Dragon Mart. We'll have an episode just about Dragon Mart.
In that aspect, like, if you see yourself going, like, mashallah, you're a food truck, and I said it from the first time I met you, when I ate at the truck, these are the most authentic tacos that I've had in the city. They're really good.
Thank you.
They're fantastic. And if you're riding this wave of, like, we need to do this, we need to do that, ride the wave.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if, God forbid, something doesn't happen, doesn't work out, you can sell the equipment.
You could sell the equipment. That's what people don't understand. And I think that is really important, and it needs an episode on its own. You need to take risks to be able to get those big gains. And I think one of the really important things is you guys, you organically grew into being one of the brands that compete with the big names. Yeah. And that's something we need to recognize. Like, we've gone. My husband's family all live here. Literally, his cousins, everybody. So, like, they're, there's Dubai kids. They have a lot of friends and family here, and they have gatherings all the time. Whether it's weddings, even for our the next day after our wedding, we did a big event, and we had Chez Charles come in, and then a year later we had another event, and we had Loca come in, and we tried catering because why not? It's something that's fun and cool. And before we even had a conversation and we became friends, Pinch Gourmet catered my birthday party last year, and it was phenomenal. There was literally not one piece of bread left. Like, everybody ate everything. There was a queue the whole entire time, and we had like 25 people. So, and now when I hear about my friend's party or my cousin's birthday, you guys are the ones catering it, but at the same time, you're also at Twitter's offices, and you're at Facebook's offices, and you're at Uber's offices, and you're playing with the big guys for corporate catering. So I think what a lot of people want to know is, how does that happen? Do you hire somebody to go and get you these leads, or is it all word of mouth? Like,
it's a bit of both. Like, we do have a team dedicated to getting these clients, especially on the corporate side. So we've been very strong in the private home game. But the corporate side, we had to, like, hire a team to, like, start approaching these corporates and trying to get these
literally
cold calling, showing up to the offices. Hey, here we have some cookies. Try our cookies.
So proper sales.
Yeah, proper sales. I think it's a couple of things. It's the creativity aspect. We have to stay as creative as possible, because you mentioned some of our competition, and these guys are really good. And they keep us on our toes. Like, you know, sometimes I relax. I'm like, oh yeah, I have these 5-6 stations or like these, you know, 10 canapes. They're doing great. You know, I don't have to worry about changing them anytime soon. But then they come up with something so cool. I'm like, oh God, now I have to come up with something even cooler. So they keep.
They motivate you.
They motivate me, like, and I even sometimes, like, you know, when I get mad, like, obviously in this industry, it's so cutthroat, and you get mad.
It's a dirty industry, y'all. Yeah. It is so dirty.
Exactly. And you don't get mad at them.
No.
You get mad at yourself. It's like, why are they doing it better? Even if they're not doing it better, it's like, you know, there's this competitive side in you that says, no, I need to be better than them.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
I want to do it, not them. You know, and you start saying, okay. And I remember once, you know, I got into an argument with one of my team in the kitchen, you know, and they took a shortcut, you know, which I hate. I do not like people taking shortcuts. And I was furious, and I was like, you know, yelling, and I don't usually yell. Like, I get mad like once or twice a year, you know, at a yelling point. And I remember screaming. I'm like, I do not accept to be number 2.
Yeah.
I will not be, even though I may currently be number 2 or number 3, but I refuse to stay there. I want to move up the rank, you know, that, and also the support that we have. You know, when I start slacking off a little bit, or I feel like I start getting comfortable, I have, you know, family members or even my team, you know, slapping me in the face saying, yo, wake up.
Yeah.
It's not time to rest.
Yeah.
You need to push. And it's exhausting.
Yeah.
You know,
but for those who know you, I mean, you don't get much rest, but yeah.
No, you
generally
don't.
speaking.
I try to keep busy. I have friends who are like super athletic, and they, you know, they motivate me to go to the gym. You know, I go in the morning.
That's amazing.
6:30, I'm there. You know, you know, our trainer. Shout out to Steve.
Yeah, I train in the morning now as well. Like, only in the morning as soon as I get up. And because your last 3 years have been insane, but my last 7 months have literally been the polar opposite of anything I ever knew in life. And nobody tells you that that's what the F&B industry, you do work 15 hours a day, if not more. It's nonstop. It's on call 24/7. So not having that regime and that system is going to break you if you don't control it. So yeah.
Especially if you're a creature of habit. Like, I'm a creature of habit.
Yeah.
Like, I like to wake up at this time, do this, and then go to work. I'll work X amount of hours per day, go home, have dinner, blah, blah. Like, I like it to be super systematic, which was a huge adjustment for me. You know, and when I couldn't go at the morning at 6:30, it's like, okay, maybe I'll go at 3. Like, maybe I'll do this, and it sucks. And then sometimes, like, okay, no, I'll forget the gym.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And then you keep forgetting the gym for months and months.
When I moved here, I gained 10 kilos. I'm still trying to shed off the weight.
Yeah. The Dubai 10. Yeah,
the Dubai 10, exactly. If not more. Some of my friends came here, they gained like 20 kilos.
Yeah.
Now, like, they lost it, but like, it's difficult, especially when you're starting something.
There's food everywhere here, so it's too exciting not to be part of it. But now, I know we can sit and talk for literally hours about everything we can learn from you, because there really is so much. And you guys are killing it. I know you're humble. I know you're, you know, some of the things we've learned so far.
You're the best.
You're the best. Yeah, everybody should think that they are the best, for sure. I agree that you are motivated by your performance. But what if I was starting out, you know, as a catering company or a restaurant that really needs a new revenue stream? Because one thing we haven't pressed upon yet is that the margins on catering are very, very attractive. And for the most part, I know some stations are going to be a lot less than other stations. You guys are really creative. Like, you do a lot of things. You have so many menus. One of the things when Haidar was choosing between the stations, you have a lot of options. So you're very flexible. And whereas for us, when we were doing catering, we had canapes.
Tacos.
And we had tacos. And we had flautas, you know, hard tacos. And that's it. And of course, there was no way to develop anything else unless you were throwing somebody like freaking brunch or something, you know, and you were making like potatoes rancheros or something different, you know. But you guys are so flexible with your business model that you can make almost anything for anyone. And that's why you have your corporate settings, and you have your weddings, and you have your parties, and you have all of the Arabic stations. European, Mediterranean, everything. So
you have to.
Yeah.
I say unfortunately for one reason. It's because when you're specifically good at one thing, stick to doing that one good thing and do well.
Yeah.
But you also need to be creative. Like we have people who call us and say, hey, listen, I have a themed wedding where we need a oud player. We need to serve Arabic kind of pays, but with an Italian twist. And like when I get that, two things go in my head. I'm like, oh crap! Now I have to come up with a menu. But if I have a sufficient amount of time, like for me, that's the most
fun. Yeah.
It's like okay, so like we did one thing for a client. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the name, so I won't. Like it's like one of these like big boutiques.
Sure.
And they're like, we're getting private buyers coming in. Like you're talking, these people are buying $50,000, $100,000 worth of like fashion items, like purses and all that stuff. And they're like, listen, we want it this, and we want Arabic Italian fusion. I'm like, interesting, because the brand is Italian, but we want Arabic. It's during Ramadan. Can you do this for us? And I like, for me, that was like, yay! Like I got super excited.
Yeah.
Okay,
those are the little projects you wait for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I made arancini sayadiyya. So
Oh my
sayadiyya
God,
is
no
like
way.
I don't know if people know about
The
it.
fish rice.
With burnt onions. So I just made arancini balls out of that. We did,
Well done, man.
bunch of like Milanese stuff, but like Arabic style. Like the desserts was like panna cotta with rose water with camel milk shavings. So like it's fun. And for me, I do get inspired by other people. I come up with ideas and I start thinking, I'm like, okay, can you do a cheesecake with Fruit Loops, for example? And I just go on Pinterest. I'm like,
Pinterest is everything.
Yeah, and
people
for your
get on Pinterest.
for your menu, for example, like you're saying, oh, we can't do this, blah blah blah. Yes, you can. You can. You're a Mexican now. You're no longer a tacos concept. You're a Mexican concept, so you can branch it out. You can do Mexican catering, Mexican breakfast. You even mentioned some breakfast items.
Yeah.
And drown out the noise. Everyone's going to tell you can't do it.
Yeah. So the thing is that what's really, really interesting is when you decide to be authentic. Like we make our own corn tortillas, we make our own salsas. We wanted to do something that nobody's doing. And we did it.
Exactly.
But what's really, really interesting is trying to stick to that authenticity. Now, if you really sit with yourself and you ask yourself, what makes me authentic? Does it mean that I'm staying true to a certain aspect of a culture? And I am sticking to that and I'm writing that? Or is authenticity what works for that culture in that place at that time?
I think it's that.
And that's what I think. It's so funny when we started this idea a year ago and to now, and we listen to our most favorite chefs, whether it's podcasts or on those amazing Netflix series, the ones that just launched. And hey guys.
Hi.
So we have been recording for about half an hour and unfortunately we've lost some of our footage. So
plus we spoke for way too long.
We spoke for too long. Yeah, it was super boring. I want to say thank you so much for being here. We're gonna try to do as much as we can with this video. It's too good to go to waste. This guy has so much to teach all of us, whether we've been doing this for a while or we're just getting into it or we're interested in learning more about the food industry and all the other verticals. So if someone wants to get in touch, to work with Pinch, to come to the iftar, how do they track you? How do they find out?
So you can contact us via our office number, which is available on our website. We also have numbers of our sales team, our event specialists. You can contact them. All the information. Instagram, you can also contact us. Probably you want to speak to someone, so if you want to just pick up the phone, call one of us. We're there around the clock. Please don't call too late.
Yeah, don't call too late. He does work around.
You know who you are, people who've done that to me before.
We'll put all of the links, all the descriptions below, so you can get in touch. You can catch Pinch Gourmet to cater for indoor, outdoor, weddings, corporate, all different kinds of events. In Ramadan, Times Square for the Pinch iftar.
So we're taking over one of the restaurants that used to be there. They shut down, and there was an established place, so we just took over it, put a bit of our equipment, we cleaned it up really nicely. We're going with a little bit of a Moroccan theme.
Oh, nice.
It's not necessarily has anything to do with the food per se.
But the vibes.
But the vibe is a bit of a Moroccan theme. It's more colorful than last year because, you are in a mall.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of lights, so we're like, okay, we were a bit like on the, nice star, last year was you're dining under the stars.
Yeah.
This year, you're kind of it's pretty lit up in the mall, and and the nice thing about what Times Square is doing, and we thank you guys so much for helping us out, and they've been promoting us.
Oh, amazing!
And they're doing a lot of fun activities for the mall goers. So once you're done, at our iftar, walk around, and you'll see like they're getting some. Oud players, they're decorating the whole
so
mall.
activations.
They're doing that, and we're working with a couple of the stores in the mall. Let's say you're done and you want to go play some games at Hint Hunt upstairs, you can do that. So we actually, and they're giving a discount to any one of the Ramadan goers.
You hear that, people? So you can go eat, have an amazing iftar, and then go do Hint Hunt to basically digest all the amazing food.
And we're trying to get some other stores on board. And what I like about Times Square, they're super strategic with who they get to the mall. And you have the Adventure HQ, you have the Hint Hunt, the Toys R Us, and
Shut Up is still upstairs?
Shut Up is also still upstairs. So honestly, you're coming to the mall, you're eating there. It's not as hidden in alcoves like last year, which was really cool, which was kind of what made our
now you're in the center of
now we're in the center, but we're sticking true to what how we started.
Right.
The menu's changing once a week. So
that happened last year, by the way.
Last year we changed it every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so some people didn't get what the others did.
Exactly. Yeah. So in all honesty, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was so overwhelmed that I couldn't even come up with new recipes and all that. So I'm like, okay, after 2 weeks we'll change the menu. Which we did, and every now and then we changed like the dish of the day, like the Portuguese chicken became the lemon chicken, or which became the masakhan, which became the ossobuco. So we kept trying to move things around. But this year you have 4 completely different menus, and this is for the people who want to come back. Which, thankfully, and this isn't because of friends and all that. We obviously have the friends and family who come support. Like we're gonna come more than once. We want to support you, but there's people who genuinely came more than once.
Yeah, I know some of those people. Yeah, I know some of those people.
Yeah, so it's
there's
cool.
no better feeling than that.
It's amazing when someone comes
smile
back.
on your face.
It's like, oh hey, welcome back. It's like we're not back here for you. We're back here for the food. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Who am I? I don't care. Yeah, and that's what I really liked about last year. I mean, we didn't really know each other that well, and you came up and you said hi to every single person, and it was very, very personal. And you can tell it was food from the heart, and you genuine. One of the things a lot of people said last year is he's so open to feedback.
Yeah,
and that is something I was like, what? Oh my God, if someone comes in, I know that now.
Yeah.
Someone comes in, and it's Ramadan, and everyone is on edge. I don't feel like Ramadan is the time to really criticize food. I've been fasting since I was like 7 years old. I know that I just can't wait to eat.
Yeah.
And I'm so hungry.
But that's the thing, you're so hungry. You haven't eaten all day. You want to eat something good. You want and that's why I'm so against the buffet lines.
Yeah.
If I was fasting all day and I'm coming to stand in a buffet line, I would be pissed. I wouldn't go out. And that's what a lot of people say. We don't like going to these generic buffet things, to these buffet iftars because of that. And I have a lot of respect for people, and you're fasting. Come, we'll put the food on your table. It does cost us more. We need more waiters. We need to be more attentive.
And that is not cheap, people. Like getting waiters for a short period of time is probably triple to quadruple. And I know we'll talk about this in another episode. Triple or quadruple the amount of having your own staff. So it's really, really expensive, but it's all about the experience. Yeah. So how much could we expect to pay for the iftar?
So it's $195 plus VAT. We're kept at the same price as last year. We wanted to make it more, but honestly, because we wanted to give that really good offering. But you know what? We decided, listen, we're going to keep it at a fair price, and we're not going to compromise on the quality of the ingredients. Hell, our margins will be a little bit lower.
Right.
But we do hope to target the people that want to have and we're calling it a seriously good
iftar. And what's the packs? Like, how much can you seat at one time?
So we can probably hit 140, 150. Last year we were at 90 capacity. It even started.
Last year, yeah.
It even started where we can only fit in 60 or 70, and then we got so many people calling in, and there was once by sheer accident we booked 95 people or something like that, and we could only seat 80. or like 70 something, and we were like, oh no. They're like, and we were sitting there, we're like, what are we gonna do? It's like, all right, and we bought chairs, we bought placemat, and like we had like maybe 5 hours to do this, because we will not reject people based on a silly mistake like that. You know, it's so silly. And if we go, hey, listen, yeah, we did book you, and you did plan to come eat here. I know you've been fasting all day, but yeah, it would have been a nightmare. So we're like, no, let's
accommodate. If you would have called me and said that, I would have.
You would have hated on Pinch and never spoken to us.
You know what's really, really funny that I learned a lot with customer service is that if they have a really good experience, they'll tell 3 people. If they have a horrible experience, they'll tell like 20. And that's why you do what you do, and you go above and beyond. Yeah.
And we've messed up.
Yeah.
We've messed up. You know, there's so many factors, whether it's on the customer service side or the food side, and that's why I take feedback. I hate feedback. And then you gotta look at it as constructive criticism. It's like the second someone tells you, you know, I didn't like the fetid bitinjan because the bread was a little bit soggy and all that, and like immediately, and this is most 90% of people, it's you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You're not a chef. You don't know. I've been working in kitchens for 8 years. Blah blah blah. And like basically in your head, you're like, no, you're stupid. You're wrong. But you can't, because people do understand nowadays. Thanks to the Food Network and thanks to Feta Feet, all these things, people do understand food.
They just slowly but surely, you know, graciously accept that they're giving you feedback. They're paying at the end of the day, people. It's not like people are coming to your restaurant or your food truck or your catering company and they're begging you. Yeah. They're paying customers, so they're entitled to their feedback.
And you should act on the feedback. Like what we used to do is, like, for example, someone tells me, hey, the feta bitinjan was soggy, which was a genuine, like someone actually said that once. So I go back to the staff, I'm like, hey, listen, like they're saying that the feta bitinjan, the bread's a little bit soggy. Why is that? Like, oh, we were preparing it 2 hours in advance, you know, so that it's ready just to serve on the table. I'm like, okay, no, let's change that. We do it per order. And when I say 2 hours in advance, is like the eggplant.
The bitinjan is done, the bread is done.
The yogurt, so we do the final mix on the spot, not beforehand, you know, and that's one of those shortcuts. Yeah, it seems harmless, but once people eat, they're like, oh, the bread's soggy, it's not crunchy.
And that's, if you have never had fetid bitinjan, fetid eggplant, then you know that the crunch is supposed to be there and it shouldn't be soggy. Some people like it soggy.
The yogurt dries out.
Yeah.
If you keep it out for too long, and it dries out. You cannot do it in advance, unfortunately. Yeah. And this goes to, you know, certain catering events where we recommend the number of staff that we're going to send to you. So let's say we have X, Y, Z stations. I tell you, okay, I need, I don't know, I'll say, use an example, we need 5 cooks to be there. And almost instantly, the first thing they say is, why do we need so many cooks? I'm like, oh, because we're preparing it fresh on site. They're like, no, send 1 cook and, you know, just send us the food from your central kitchen. I'm like, but the quality deteriorates. It like destroys the quality. Plus, I'm putting my branding on the thing, so I can't accept that. So, you know, there's that aspect of...
Yeah, you can't jeopardize your quality. No.
You know, and like we were saying earlier, you stay true to the brand. You know, maybe if you say, like I'll use it in your example, if you want to have 20 maize taco food trucks, for example, or 20 stores, you have to make sure that logistically you can actually do it. You know, that it won't compromise quality.
If not, there's no point, y'all.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no point. And I keep getting, yeah, I lived in Kentucky for 4 years. I keep getting inquiries all the time, and you know, how can you help me learn about the industry and stuff like that. And the one thing, and I don't know if I said this already, if you're not going to be there, if you're not going to be the face of your passion and your brand and what you're looking to do, don't waste your time. There's too much work that goes into it, and pain than reward.
Yeah.
So I think that's really, really important. We have all had a blast talking to you. We could sit and talk for hours and hours and hours. I look forward to you coming back to For Foodies by Foodies.
I would love to.
And discussing maybe some of the new projects that you're working on and how we can learn from a lot of the lessons that you've learned.
Thank you. And good on you for starting this podcast.
Thank you.
You know, I've always considered, okay, maybe one of these days I'll do a podcast, but I was just always shying away from it. You went, you're like, I'm going to do a podcast, and I did it. And, kudos to you.
Thanks,
you have, you're very brave. You started a food truck 7 months ago and you did it, and you're going to be talking to a lot of people who are going to be talking about themselves, their business, and all that. But I do hope one of these days you have someone you're sitting on this seat.
You can be the one.
I don't mind. I will ask you,
one.
and I'll cutthroat questions. And people need to hear your story as well.
Yeah.
Whether it's in written form or on this podcast or anything like that, people need to see it.
Yeah,
and
for
because
sure.
you have an awesome story as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
You praise us for having all such cool stories, but yours is just as cool, if not better.
Well, I look at some of the people that I hope will be on the show, of course, including yourself, as people who pave the way for new startups, and it's gonna happen in 3 years if Maïs is still here, or
it will be
whatever we're doing next is still taking off. Then there will be others who will need this help, and that's why I think that this podcast is really, really important. Whether we get lots of views or we don't, but for the people that really need resources, is having a place to come and listen to real food entrepreneur stories who are willing to share and say, this is when it was really, really hard, and this is when it was really, really great, and let's all learn together. So thank you.
Can I say one thing to all the food entrepreneurs out there? Help each other out, guys.
Yes.
When I first started, getting the help I need was very difficult, but then you'd have one person extend their hand, and then you'd have another. We're in this together, and I love that this culture of foodies, this is the whole base of this podcast is, we're here to help each other, and I'm seeing that more often now, which I love. If you have something that you can share with someone, whether it be your experience, whether it be contacts, or anything like that, we're here to help each other. When the one thing I took from Canada, from working in restaurants, was the competing restaurant next door that was doing just as well, we were best friends with them. We'd go have a drink after, we'd go for food after. The head chefs were best friends.
Wow.
They were buddies, we're all in this together.
Wow, yeah.
So...
And we talked about this, but that's what drives you to keep on performing. I'm personally motivated by my competition, and I'm motivated by my performance. What I did last week, I want to outdo that. So I think that when you win, I win, because you have then opened up so many doors for me. I'm the one to come after, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect, and the food truck industry. And I'll talk to truckers hopefully soon, but the food truck industry is just as dirty as the F&B industry, and events is even dirtier. And I never. No one tells you that. No one says, yo, Luma, just so you know, girl, you're getting into mafia.com zone, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. But yeah.
Now you have to purchase that website.
Exactly. It's very, very cutthroat. And I think your message is very strong. And just, if someone calls and asks for help, or, needs just one question to be answered.
Yeah, do it. And, even with my competitors, I noticed that a lot of people start saying, oh, this competitor is doing this and he's saying these things. I'm like, he probably isn't, and this guy is probably living his life, doing his own thing. And hey, you might be checking out what I'm doing. Me in passing,
yeah.
I'm seeing what you're doing. And I do it as more of a fascination thing, not as I need to be better than him. Yes, I need to be better than you, but we keep each other on our toes, and I have so much praise for a lot of these big caterers that are doing massive things, and I look at them, I'm like, I can never do that. But then that's where the negativity plays in. I'm like, no, wait, I can do that, and I should be doing that, and I should be doing it better.
And you are doing it. You're doing so many really cool things, and you inspire us all. And I know
as do you.
I know that the passionate ones and the ones that really, we really see startups killing it, and startups of our generation, we're the same age, and it's just really, really, really good to see you succeed.
Thank you.
And it makes us all know that there's a chance. And thank you for being here, bro.
You're the best.
You're the best,
Thank
and
you.
we can't wait to have you. Thank you guys so much for being here, watching this chat, and please subscribe and stay tuned for what's to come. Thank you.